This is actually a topic that we had on the very first. Sorry.
Our lights are off.
Oh no. We're not far into it.
Good Mom and Monday.
You're here with the Mistaken Mama podcast. I'm Kaylee.
And I'm Mandee.
And we are your hosts.
This week we are going to be talking about self-care.
Self-care.
Yes. How we did it before kids and how we are still trying after kids.
Still trying. This is a topic that we had brought up on the original podcast.
Yes.
It's been quite a while.
It has.
So
we have more kids now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of interested to see how it differs now. So maybe we could review the old podcast at some point too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with our wins, fails, and books.
Yes. So let's do our individual wins first because we have a joint fail.
Okay.
So what's your individual win?
Gosh, probably Mother's Day.
Okay.
Mother's Day just passed.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably been several weeks for you guys.
Yes, but for us it was just a couple days ago.
Yeah. And we went to the coast, and it was the hottest coast day I've ever had in my life. It was 91 degrees.
At the coast.
At the coast, at the beach, on the beach.
Holy shit.
Feet in the sand. Hot.
What the heck?
Thankfully, there was a breeze, or I would have been miserable, and it would have been my fail. Because I don't like the heat.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really sunny. It was very enjoyable.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Maverick had a blast. We found this beach that has it has like a rock bed in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to look for agates, and so does Michael. And so we were looking for that, and Maverick was just having a ball. My brother Brady was there. My mom came. My dad came. It was a good time.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
My win's actually for Mother's Day too.
Oh, good.
So my favorite part of the win, you know that blanket you have that I really like? Yes. I got one.
Yay!
So now I have one now. It's
Yay.
my bed blanket now because we decided to try the no blanket thing. It's been working really well.
Yes.
Really, really well because Thomas hasn't been using a blanket and I've been using that one. So we're happy there.
Yay.
But this Mother's Day, we kind of celebrated it across a couple different days, but my husband works on Sundays. So, and Mother's Day is it always on a Sunday? Yes? I think it is.
Good question.
I think Mother's Day is always on a Sunday because Mother's Day is is it? Hold on.
That's a really good question. I don't know, honestly. I think I just always look at my calendar and whatever day it is, I'm like, we'll celebrate it that day. But that would make sense.
I think it is. I think Father's Day is also always on a Sunday.
I mean,
but so we celebrated over like the course of a couple of different days because he works on Sundays. And so on Friday we had like a really nice like steak dinner at home. Nice. I mean, I cooked it, but still
hey.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I got flowers from Thomas and Anna.
Aww. On
I think it was Thursday.
Okay.
They got me flowers. Maybe it was Friday, I don't remember. And my mom bought me flowers for outside.
Okay.
And so now I have potted plants outside.
Cute.
And then I got to pick up 3 books.
Nice.
So the ones I picked up were Never Never by Colleen Hoover and some other author that I can't remember the name of. Mm-hmm. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue.
Okay.
And I forget what the third one was, but it was like about dragon riders or something that I wanted to read with Thomas.
Oh, yeah, that's exciting.
Oh, yeah. I had a good Mother's Day.
Yeah. I think we have... So on Mother's Day, Michael was like, I'm going to give you money for clothes because we've talked about it before on here. It's hard to buy clothes for somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Very.
So yesterday we went shopping for clothes.
Awesome.
So that was like... My birthday's also tomorrow.
Yes. In real life, it's tomorrow.
Yeah.
For you guys, it's like, same. It's been a couple weeks.
Right. So it was kind of my in-between Mother's Day... birthday, and tomorrow Michael has something planned that I don't know.
Ooh,
so
fun.
Maybe next week I'll let you guys in on whatever that was.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
So what are you turning, Mandee?
27.
20. I mean, I already knew that, but 27.
27. Yeah. And Michael's turning 30 this year.
That's crazy to me. Still.
It's funny because he's turning 30 and it's been like a oh my God, you're turning 30. And he's like, I'm not turning 30. I'm like, yes, you are turning 30. And then I'm over here like, I still have 3 years to go. Why does that seem so long?
I mean, I'm sitting over here. I'm the youngest of our group.
Right.
I'm the baby here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm still 24.
Yeah, because you turned 25 in August, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm the baby.
That's good for you.
And Thomas turns 28 this year.
Yeah. Because him and I are right.
Mm-hmm. You guys have an overlap.
Yeah.
Of you guys at the same age for a short period of time.
That's crazy.
Because you're 2000. You're not. 1996?
Yep.
Yeah, he's 1995.
Oh, 5. Duh.
5.
You're 7.
I'm 8.
You're 8.
98.
Why did I think you were 7? That makes sense, though. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Yep. Anyway.
Anywho's, we have a combined fail for you. So,
looking at it.
So I have this table that my mom gave to me that she had for years and years prior. And I've had this table, I think, since I moved out. I'm pretty sure I moved out with it. Mm-hmm. And it's just this white rectangular table that I think she painted it white herself. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, this. Do you see this? Anymore. Do you see this paint? That's on this wall. Well, she... Maverick.
My son. So, first off, I'd like to note, Kaylee and I, for the life of us, cannot think of where this paint can was in this room.
Yeah.
Okay? I swear it was in the garage. I swear. Clearly it wasn't. We were editing. Mm-hmm. Maverick was back here. I assumed he was just back here in his room.
Because his room is one room over
right next
from
door.
us.
Yeah. And usually if this door is open, because this is also where the cat room is, so sometimes the door is open, he just leaves it alone, or he'll come in here and he'll like mess with the drawer or something. Mm-hmm. So it was quiet. Michael came back to check on him, and he was like, babe,
you need to come back here right now.
Yeah.
He was like calm, but like right now.
Yeah, but immediately. And then I was like, okay, so we're trying to get up, and he comes out with Maverick, just hands black. So Michael gets him in the shower, and then we come in to see what occurred and insert picture here.
Yep. Paint. The funny thing is the lid's on.
Yeah, the lid's on. It just must not be sealed completely on all sides, because it was just kind of like pouring out on one side, and he...
For those of you that are listening and not watching, the paint can that we used to paint our background of our studio, we have a black background that we painted black.
Yes.
That paint can was upside down on our table that we have in here that has like all of our equipment on it and stuff. That was what was upside down.
Yeah.
And you didn't see the picture, but if you go on our Instagram, we'll put it on there.
Yeah. And thankfully, all of our setup stuff was put away.
Mm-hmm. And like our chairs and all of this stuff was untouched.
Yeah. He only touched the table and one spot on a wall in a hallway, but it wiped up really easy.
Yep. And so...
It was the best mess I've seen.
Yes.
But it was scary.
Mm-hmm. And instead of getting mad...
Yeah.
I mean, because technically this is my table.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
I feel like if anybody was going to get mad, it probably would have been me.
You, yeah.
Whereas me, I was just like, you got a paint roller?
Yeah.
And I painted the top of it. I was like, well, there's a bunch of paint on here. And it wasn't even just like a little bit. Like, if you saw the picture, there was quite a bit.
If it was a little bit, we probably would have just tried to wipe it up like the wall.
Mm-hmm. But
it was a lot.
There was a lot. It was like a pool of it. And so I just took a paint roller and just... The top is now black.
Yep.
Here's that finished product picture. It's still wet in that photo. And, you know, so at the top of it's kind of like it looks like I dry brushed it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't fully enough to make it like an opaque black. Mm-hmm. So it's like a scratched black look.
Yeah.
Which
I think it looks pretty cool.
I think it looks pretty cool too. Adds a little bit of character.
Yeah.
Hello. Water reminder. Hello. Time to drink some water.
Oh. No water.
We'll just silence you.
So yeah, that could have been 10 times worse.
Oh, definitely could have been a million times worse.
I'm glad it didn't get on the chairs.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it would have came up
probably pretty. Since we caught it early, it wasn't like dried or anything.
Exactly.
But yeah, I am glad you weren't mad.
Not even a little. I thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah, literally not mad, even for a second. I feel like all of us were surprisingly very calm about it.
Very calm.
Michael wasn't upset. I wasn't upset. You weren't upset. We kind of were just like, okay, well, let's get you cleaned up and let's paint a table.
Yep. Trust me, like, after the situation, I was kind of like looking back on it, being like, we handled that really well.
Really well. Like, that's the kind of parenting I strive for.
Like 100% of the time, though.
Yeah.
Like, that was like perfect.
Yeah.
Most everybody was just like with each other on it.
Yeah. I was able to calmly tell Maverick, okay, next time you find paint, just come ask.
Yep.
There was no like, oh my God, Maverick, what did you do?
And
no
nothing,
shame.
Yeah. Nothing got damaged. I mean, it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that could have been our win too.
I mean,
we handled it well.
We handled it really, really well. So it's kind of like a win fail.
Yeah. So we have a black table now. And I mean, still kind of white too.
It's still kind of white. Yep. The legs are white and stuff, but the top of it's black.
So what book are you reading now?
I am now on the third book of A Court of Thorns and Roses. Yes. So I just finished Mist and Fury. What's the third one? I think
this one's Wings and Ruin?
Yes.
Okay.
It is.
Yeah.
I also, for the life of me, thought I had the fifth book.
You don't?
I don't have the Silver Flame or whatever the hell it's called. Yeah, when I bought the box set, when I bought the box set, I thought it came with every book. It only has the first 4.
Weird.
The thin one.
Yeah.
Is the fourth one.
Right.
Yeah, that's, and also when I got the box set, it was placed as if it was the third book, which threw me for a loop.
That's really weird.
It's so weird. So yeah, Thomas was like, just buy the fifth book, because I have all 4 like physical. Yeah. Now I have to have the 5th book physical.
You need to, yeah.
Because
the 4th book is, it's my least favorite.
And it's the 5th one that you said is like the third person, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I was thinking this whole time that thin one was the.
It's almost just as long as.
I see that now.
The second.
Yep, I see that now. Yep. So I'm on the third book.
Nice.
I'm enjoying it.
Mm-hmm. Good. I'm still reading.
Still.
Crescent City Book 1. It's been a month.
I have heard that it is just hard to get through.
And it's like I am tempted to just start another book, but at the same time, I just want to get through this one.
Mm-hmm. I'm probably going to end up having to listen to the audio for that one because I think it would help. Huge.
I'm not a audiobook listener, but I do almost think it would be easier.
I have now decided that if it's not a graphic audio, I don't want it.
Fair.
Because I've listened to, I have the Court of Thorns and Roses physical copies. But man, is it hard to read physical copies a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Especially because the time that I'm able to like be listening to books, it's either late at night, and I mean lights.
Right, yeah.
And I have a Kindle, but like, it's not a physical book.
Right, yeah.
And then listening to audio when I can be doing other things. And so now I'm like, ooh, graphic audio. Yeah. But not every book is that.
Right. And I don't know if Crescent City has that.
No.
It doesn't?
I looked.
Okay.
At least not yet.
Okay.
Doesn't mean that it won't ever.
Right.
I need to look and see if Throne of Glass has it. But those graphic audios cost. They're a pretty penny.
Yeah. And I think Throne of Glass is also third person.
Of course it is.
It's just so hard to stay in it.
Why?
My mind just wanders.
Whatever.
Yeah. So.
It's fine.
I'll get through it one of these days and you guys will hear me say, I'm not reading that anymore. But then you might hear me say I'm reading the second book.
See, I won't pick those up until that third one's out because I like to just like boom, boom, boom through a series.
Oh, same.
Versus having to stop.
Yeah.
Because like that's why I haven't started the Crave series yet. Right. Is because the last book isn't out yet.
Yeah.
I have it pre-ordered. It's coming to me sometime.
Right.
But so are you at least liking it?
I am.
It's just long.
And see, that's the problem is I'm liking it. It's just because it's third person, it's really hard for me to stay in it.
Oh, okay.
Like I start getting into it, but then it's not as if I'm doing the things,
Yeah.
And so my mind just wanders. Kind of like how when you watch a movie, or maybe people are more into movies, but when you watch a movie and then you start thinking about a million things and then I'm watching a movie. What's going on again?
Yep. I get that same way with movies. That's kind of the reason why I like books better. And that's, that's what I love about the graphic audio. It's because it's like you're watching a movie, but it's being told to you.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Even like the graphic audio people are like a movie in your mind. It's their like catchphrase thing.
Yeah.
I'm like 100%.
I mean, true. Yeah.
Yeah. Although I will say the sex scenes and stuff are interesting.
I've heard they're cringy.
Because it doesn't just say I moaned. They skip over things like that. You get it.
Weird.
You get that.
So how do they know who's who?
Because it's a full
you know
cast.
the scene.
So you recognize voices.
Oh, okay.
He has like a voice,
Right.
But it's not a woman making that voice. It's an actual person who plays a different character. So you start to recognize voices.
Okay.
Sometimes I forget and I'll be like,
different voices.
I'm like, fuck, who's talking right now? And then I have to use like context clues. I'm like, oh, right, that's Lucian or whatever. Yeah. Whoever it is that's talking.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
It's interesting. I'll have to like play you a snippet so you can hear it because it is like, top tier. I love it.
Yeah.
But it is a little bit cringy. Like Thomas came home the other day and I was listening and it just so happened to have been like an intense scene and he's like, you good? And I'm like, well, I'm like listening to porn currently. And he's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, it's just a sex scene in a book and it's a graphic audio.
Right. And
graphic.
I mean, that would lead me to believe, it's going to be graphic.
And I mean, you get like when it's, a scene, they get the...
Oh, God. Really? They go that intense?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because you told me there's like music overlaid.
Sound effects,
that's crazy.
Everything.
That's right.
Someone unsheaths a sword, you hear it.
Weird.
It's so cool, though.
I might have to reread them and listen to that.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Let me know if you want to because I have them, so you don't have to pay for them or whatever. Oh, it's fantastic.
All right.
It's just sometimes it's a little much.
Right. Fair.
Anyways, the last thing that I want to say book-wise is if you follow me on Instagram, you will know that I have now announced that there is a second book. 2. Yep. There is no current release date, but it's there. And if you have the hardcover, you will already know that because I have, if I can, whatever, I have the hidden secret is in the back of the hardcover. So for those of you that have the hardcover, you guys already know that there is the second book that's going to be coming. It's currently being written. I'll have a release date eventually.
Heck yeah.
Woo.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I finally announced that. So, although for you guys, I guess it's been a couple weeks since I did that. But if you didn't already know that, now you know.
Now you know.
So, self-care.
Self-care.
Today, you got to have a little bit of self-care.
I did.
Tell me about that.
I went and got my hair done.
Woohoo.
This was just like a refresher appointment, so I didn't really get any color. She did a shadow root a little bit just so it'd blend because being a mom and not wanting to spend a lot of money on my hair, I tend to let it grow, and I usually only do like 1 to 2 appointments a year. And so I liked the blonde that I had in my hair, but I needed something so when it grew out, it wasn't a drastic like, oh, wow, okay, yeah, you need your hair done.
Yep, I get that too. Like, you can't really see a ton of, like, I have headphones.
Shift. Right.
Yeah.
I was going to say, they might not even be able to tell anything.
There's nothing there.
So, yeah, that was good. I had to wake up a little earlier than usual, but...
Because your appointment was at 8:30?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
See, my son woke me up at 6 today. So I've been up since 6.
I had it was the perfect morning of you could go back to sleep because Maverick woke up, then Quincy woke up. And I was like, oh, okay, we're just waking up before my alarm. It was like 7:15. And I was like, that's fine. That'll work out. And then I was nursing Quincy and I looked over and Maverick fell back asleep. And then I looked down and Quincy was falling back asleep. And I was like, this is the perfect morning that I could fall back asleep for another hour. But alas, I had an appointment, which I'm glad I went to. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was my self-care today.
That's always a lot of fun. I love going and getting my hair done for self-care. Now, I only go every 9-ish months.
Right.
It's not like I intentionally do that. That's just kind of been consistent. So now I'm like, do I stick with that?
That's how I am, too.
It's about how long it is before I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I need to get this.
Yeah. This was the closest I think I've ever had appointments.
I was going to say, because the last time you got your hair done was literally like, what, a day before we started recording our podcasts again.
Yeah. So 9 weeks ago. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty,
That's pretty close for me. Usually I literally do it at the beginning of summer and maybe sometime in fall, winter, but sometimes I skip that one. So I just felt like it needed a little something.
I'm trying to determine what I want to do next time. like, do I want to stick with like the coppery?
Yeah.
Or do I want to branch out? I don't know. The next time I get it done, it's probably going to be closer to like fall though.
Yeah.
So I'm like, do I stick with the copper for fall?
Right.
Or do I see part of me kind of wants part of me kind of wants to go with like a really dimensional brown because brown's my natural, right? But go with like maybe like a honey. Carrie Ann's listening and she's like, come on, let's go.
She's like, let's do it.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. Part of me's also been like, oh, I want to do some color, I want to do something fun, but at the same time, like maintenance wise, that's like not a thing that I can do.
I know. I've thought about going more blonde, but again,
the maintenance on that is intense.
Can't keep that up. I can have hints. I can't do it all.
Yeah, that's why I don't think that I could ever do like a blonde unless I did like a really intense, really blended balayage that started pretty far down. Yeah, but I feel like I need to have my hair quite a bit longer for that to make sense. Yeah, like my hair is.
It's getting there though.
It's getting there, but not quite at the length where if I did something to it and it, my hair grew, that it wouldn't just look like grow out.
Right. Yeah.
It's still too short, but she's been cutting my hair or doing my hair since it was chin length. First time I saw her, my hair was chin. So I've had quite a bit of growth there.
I just keep chopping mine.
And she's the only one that's touched my hair with color specifically. I've gotten my hair cut a couple times. Right. But with color, she's the only one who's touched my hair and probably the only one who ever will. So, Carrie Ann, if you quit, I'm coming after you.
I don't think she will. She's trying to grow her business right now.
Yes.
Yeah, she's the only person other than when she took a little break from hair. She's the only one that's done my hair since I was like a freshman in high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. A long
I knew that
time.
she'd been doing your hair for a long time. I couldn't remember how long though.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Whoopsie. Sorry.
Hold on. There. Okay. We're good. Sorry.
Yeah. I was there right when she started and I followed her through different avenues. Yeah. Yeah. She's been great.
I like her a lot.
She's really fun.
But so what else do you like to do for self-care? Like, what do you take the time for yourself to do?
Good question. Lately, there's been a lot less self-care.
Yeah.
Granted, I did have a baby 5-6 months ago now. So.
Mine just turned 11 months.
I know.
Yesterday.
That's crazy.
Less than a year until she's 1.
Mine turned 6 months tomorrow. God. But yeah. I just haven't gotten back in the swing of things yet. I'm still trying. I enjoy reading. I do.
Me too.
I enjoy taking a bath. I enjoy both those things combined.
I'm scared to read in the bath.
Why?
I don't want to accidentally drop it.
What you doing that would be dropping it?
I have very clumsy hands.
I don't think that thought has ever crossed my mind, but I have seen it a lot on our book group thing.
Yeah.
Like, I dropped my Kindle in the water and now it's broken. What do I do?
Yep, I'm that person. Yeah, I'm the type. I will drop it. I'll be holding the book like this, and I'll just be like, yeah, let me just.
Oh my gosh.
God. Usually it's my pinkies that give out. I'll like go to readjust or something, or go to like turn the page, and then it's just.
Maybe you need to get one of those things.
I think so.
The bar things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I don't know. It won't work in my bathtub.
Do you not have a little lip on the other side?
On the other side's completely flat.
Oh, I see. I have a teeny little lip.
Nope.
So it would probably... See, that's where I would get worried. Is it going to slip off the... Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I read mostly on my phone, though.
Yeah.
So
I mean, maybe for you it would work. Like, the only time I've ever read in the bathtub, I was, like, on the edge. Because I was terrified. It was still comfortable.
Oh, I've read so much in the bath. You gotta get on that.
I'm just so scared.
Do it with a book that you wouldn't care if it got wet.
But then why am I reading that book?
I don't know. Do it for one that you enjoy, but you also wouldn't care.
I don't have one like that. Doesn't exist. Not in my library.
Maybe start with your phone? Kindle on your phone? No?
That's terrifying. Yeah, drop my phone in the water.
But the phone's like water resistant.
What?
Waterproof.
Since when?
The iPhones? Aren't they all?
Are they? I don't
I thought
think
you could
so.
like submerge them like
What?
3 feet.
What? No.
Am I making that up?
I mean, maybe.
I swear.
I...
We're going to have to look that up too. Fact check.
Fact check. Fact check. Da, 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 da.
That's my favorite thing to do is read in the bath.
I mean,
I would read
you
for
are
like an hour
brave.
until my water's cold and I'm like, oh, I'm actually very cold now.
Yeah, I just see so many horror stories of books getting ruined that I'm just terrified.
Huh.
So I mostly read in bed.
You might have unlocked a new fear for me, I guess.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. I've just never worried about it.
My water is also not very hot.
Oh, I'm
and it cools down so
boiling.
Fast. See,
I'm like sweating at the beginning.
I wish.
Adding a little bit of cold water.
Yeah, no. My water is not very hot at all.
Oh, it just won't get that hot.
It doesn't get that hot. I can turn that bitch all the way up.
Weird.
Like this morning, I took a shower. Mm-hmm. All the way up. From the get-go.
I never thought about that, but apartment living, that didn't click for me.
They use the cheapest water heaters in existence.
Because I got a hotel, you can get your water hot. So I just assumed that.
Yeah.
But to save cost, I guess, yeah, that makes sense.
Yep. Cheap.
Bummer. You could boil some water on the stove.
Yeah, let me just, get my kettle. I mean, shit.
It might work.
Might work. That's what they did for my pool.
Yeah.
When I was birthing.
Yeah.
Boil some water on the stove, dump it in.
We didn't have to because my water got hot enough, but we just did as hot as it went for as long as it went, and then we had to add a bunch of cold water.
Yeah. If only.
Well, interesting. Okay, so no reading in the bath for you. Yeah, I love reading in the bath. God.
See, that sounds relaxing. I would love to sit in a hot tub with a good book, but that is terrifying to me, just to ruin a book. Maybe I mean, granted, it's a $20 book,
right,
but still.
Maybe this is more terrifying to you, but I will literally fill the water up, sit in the tub. I will have a candle right here, blazing. Again, I read on my phone, and then I will prop my phone up on said candle or a shampoo bottle.
You're insane.
And then it's just on the side, and then all I have to do is...
See, my phone would just be like, yes, here I am. We're reading. Into the water it goes.
I'm really excited to look up this fact check about the phone because I swear it was
I mean,
waterproof.
maybe. I feel like I've read something about it somewhere, but I thought it was Androids that were 100% waterproof up to a certain depth. I don't know.
We'll have to look because I've for sure dropped my phone in the sink before. And it's totally still going strong. I mean, fair. But...
maybe it is. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it has to do with their new, but I feel like the speakers would just...
I mean, I take my phone in the shower with me and, I'll watch, a YouTube video or...
No? What life are you living, baby?
Or, is that strange?
I feel like... I don't know. I'm a worrywart, though, so I'm I'll listen to music in the shower, but it stays outside the shower.
Oh, see, I put it in our little basket in the shower. And by the end of it, I have to wipe it off because it's soaking wet.
If my shit is waterproof, that just changes my life.
I hope it is because that will change your life.
I need that in my life. Because my self-care revolves around listening to music or watching a video, typically while I do these.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Let me show you listening. That's nails.
No. There we go. I'm not. Maybe I'll talk in a second. I'm not a nail tech by any definition, but I do my nails at home.
I used to get my nails done all the time.
Mm-hmm. And I do the gel tips, but I have genetically really thin, weak nails.
Yeah.
Don't know where the hell I get that from because my grandma had the world's hardest nails. Rock hard. To her death, had rock hard nails.
So you're not getting it from her?
No.
Self-care. You gotta get away from the kids first.
Sometimes this feels like self-care.
Yeah.
Other times this feels like avoidance. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Other times it feels like a chore.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if we have to have them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because it's I don't know. Self-care as a parent is hard.
It is.
There's like a fine line between, am I wanting self-care or am I wanting to get away from my children? Mm-hmm. And that's something that I don't think a lot of people want to talk about.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want to get away from my kids.
Right.
Like, I watched this girl's video. She did like a mom remake of the Part of Your World song. It was like I want to be where the adults are.
Literally.
I'll have to see if I can find it and I'll send it to you.
That'll be fun.
It cracked me up. I was dying. But it's so true. Like, I love my children more than life itself.
Right.
But sometimes I just want to take a step back. Mm-hmm. Take a step out and be like, okay, I need a minute. Like, one thing I'm really excited about with the weather getting nicer is that I can go outside onto our patio. Mm-hmm. I can put up my little hanging chair thing, go outside and read a book.
Right.
But 9 times out of 10, I'm going to have a kid on me.
Yeah.
Most likely Ellie. And I mean, like, if I do it like late at night, I can just put her to sleep out there.
True.
Which is what I did with Damon.
Right. Last year.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think I did a little bit last year with Ellie too. Mm-hmm. When she was like a newborn. But I did it with Damon too when I was pregnant.
Yeah.
Because it's like right there at the end of spring, that it just is like the perfect time of year to go out there.
Definitely.
And then like all throughout the summer. Yeah. To just enjoy the warmth and just read and be swinging in my little swing. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's been nice. We've been going out in the backyard more. And Maverick will be 100% content with his little water table that we have for him. Mm-hmm. And
that should have been your fail.
Oh, yeah.
Well, why don't you really quickly tell that story?
Yeah.
An added fail. If you want to, you don't have to.
No, that's totally fine. So we were outside playing. We had these little like push pop things. Mm-hmm. And we ate those. It was sticky. It was making a mess. Whatever. So I was gathering all the trash to take into the house. Michael called me at the same time. So I was like telling him what we were doing. And I'm grabbing all the trash to just run in the house really quick. Quincy's in her little playpen outside. Maverick's playing in his water table and he has the sprayer. And I'm going to walk inside and he runs over to me. And when he gets to me, he's like, and I was like, are you okay? And I said, are you okay? Are you okay? And then he just like proceeds to vomit a bunch of water. And I was like, are you good? And he goes, yeah. And he gives me a big hug. And I was like, what the heck? I was like, did you spray yourself? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, maybe we shouldn't do that, buddy. And so I was like, okay, no hose till mom gets back. So I put the hose away and then I threw the trash away, came back out. Then I looked on the camera and he had turned the spray nozzle around and shot himself in the throat.
She sent me this video, guys, and I watched it. And like, she's like, what did you say? Like, oh, my son or whatever.
Yeah.
And I watched it and I was like, Maverick.
I know. Because I had thought, okay, maybe he just like turned it on his face and sprayed it. And you know how like, I don't think he has that reflex anymore, but babies, when you blow on their face, they... So I thought it was kind of one of those reactions where he sprayed himself and he was just like, startled a little bit. And then I saw that he sprayed himself in the mouth and I was like, Maverick, we do not spray our throats.
It's like, I'm thirsty.
And well, it's like, he didn't do that again.
Yeah. Those things are pretty high pressure too. So yeah. Just like,
thankfully he can't squeeze it to where it's like the solid stream where it's like really high pressured. So when he sprayed it, it was still kind of like the fan, but because it was in his mouth, it was like,
yeah. Oh, poor guy.
Yeah, that was a fail while we were trying to enjoy the outdoors.
So compared to now, how different is your self-care from, one kid and then also no kids?
Well, it took a while after Maverick to find time for myself, especially because my postpartum anxiety was so intense that I just couldn't leave him with anything. But then afterwards, I feel like I was doing a lot more. I would get ready in the morning. I would, take that little bit of time out for myself and not have to worry about him. Now having another one, it's really hard to do that because she's attached to my hip.
Yes.
So I personally like for like daily self-care, if I can get ready in the morning, my day goes much better.
Yeah.
I feel better. If I just switch jammies for jammies and then just hang out with the kids, I feel very unproductive and I just kind of feel bleh all day.
I feel that way too. If I stay in my jammies all day, or if I switch into like even yoga pants, I don't feel as productive. Whereas if I put on a pair of jeans and a nice shirt, or not nice, but like not what I wore to bed.
Right, exactly.
Same thing. I feel more productive. Like I can actually physically get more done.
Yeah. So and I've got it down to where I can basically get ready in like 15 to 30 minutes if I'm doing like a little bit more than just a casual. But just that little bit of time and quietly, that feels like self-care to me. When I'm getting ready and the kids are just screaming.
And you're like, hold on.
Yeah.
Let me finish this.
Yeah. Then it just feels like work.
That was me this morning. I was trying to blow dry my hair because I took a shower at like 8:30.
Yeah.
I come here around 10.
Right.
That's not a lot of time.
Yeah.
When I gotta like do my hair, do my makeup, grab everything that I need to grab.
Right.
So I'm like sitting here trying to dry my hair, and I'm like, and Ellie's at my feet. Ah!
Yep.
Thomas had to run to the store.
Oh,
First thing this morning, so it was just me.
Yeah.
The two older kids were watching a show in the living room, and I'm just sitting there drying my hair, and I'm like, Ellie, I'm sorry. And then I finally turned the blow dryer on her. I'd be like, really quickly.
Yep.
And she would, and she thought it was funny. So that's what I was doing. I would like dry my hair, and then she'd freak out, and I'm like, boop, onto her face, and then she'd be happy girl. Back and forth.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the hardest part is, especially as a stay-at-home mom, when you try to do self-care but your kids are home with you.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible.
And then you get frustrated.
Yeah. Exactly. I think that's why one of the reasons I really enjoy going to my mom's is because she doesn't have any kids. Well, little kids. She's able to really help me, so she can kind of just take that load off for me. And then, not that I'm really doing like self-care at my mom, but that kind of feels like self-care because I'm getting a little bit of a break, but I'm still enjoying my kids.
Yeah. I get that a lot. I feel that in my bones. There's also like when you're a stay-at-home mom, I feel like also being around another adult that doesn't live in your house can sometimes feel like self-care.
Yeah.
Like, I love coming over here and being able to talk to you guys because, one, I'm getting out of the house.
Yeah.
And then, two, I'm having a conversation that's not, oh, yeah, yep, I see. That's a very nice jump.
Whoa, cool.
Very cool. I love your scribbles. Oh, it's fantastic.
That's a great tower.
Yep.
Love it.
And it's like, I do genuinely love that.
Right, yeah.
Because it's adorable. And someday I'm going to miss it. I know that I am.
Of course, yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, oh, God.
But like 4 days in a row of that without any other conversation mixed in.
Or like very minimal, because like even with like Thomas, like,
well,
you know, me and him will have a conversation, but a lot of the time it's about
the kids,
the house, jobs. I'll watch like a TikTok video or something, and then like I'll go and talk to Thomas about it, and I'll send him videos, but he'll like never watch them. It's like, oh, did you watch the video I sent you? No. Okay.
Sent it to you for a reason.
Wanted to talk to you about it. What did you want to talk about? Oh, I thought it was interesting.
Maybe if you saw it, you would know.
You'd understand. Like, the video that I sent him most recently was this guy. He's like a science guy, and he was reacting to a video of someone saying that like the universe doesn't make any sense, and the guy he was reacting to was like, if the sun was any closer, even by 1 inch, we'd all be dead. And then the science guy goes, oh, really? I'm alive. I'm dead. I just started cracking up, and I sent it to him, and I was like, you'll find this is really funny. Showed it to him finally, and he's like, oh, that is fun. I'm like, yeah, maybe you should have watched it a couple hours ago. Like, because I love being able to talk to him about things that I find interesting.
Right.
You know, because like me and my husband, we get along, but we don't have a lot in common. And we were actually talking about that the other day. It's like, let's try to find something that you and I can do together. Because like right now we're rewatching Game of Thrones, which is great.
Right.
Love that for us. We also play like Call of Duty together and stuff. But I don't really feel like, that stuff is kind of an extension of what I like. versus being like at my core
Right.
of what I like. I love reading, writing. That's it.
That sums you up.
that kind of sums me up right there. Yeah. Yeah. That sums me up. And I like music.
Right.
Like one of the things that I love when me and my husband do is we like to play that one game that I was telling you about where we try to guess the song before the chorus. But we don't do that often. And so we were talking about the other day of being like, well, you know, what can we do that's like at its core something that I enjoy? You know, because a lot of the stuff that we do is at its core more him than it is me.
Right.
You know, like I love romance and other things like that. And it's like Game of Thrones is a lot of violence, which I mean, I love Game of Thrones.
Right.
I am a fanatic.
Right.
Give me Tyrion or give me death. You know,
Right.
like I love that show.
Yeah.
But, you know, there are things that are for me that, you know, at the same time, I would love to be able to do the things that are for me with him. You know, because that to me feels like self-care.
Yeah.
Is, you know, being able to enjoy it with him. Like my very first book, the one that I threw earlier, my husband actually helped me write that book.
Right.
That was something that I really, really enjoyed doing. And so even this book, my husband helped me write. And that was something that, like, it felt really good to do something with him. Because I don't get a ton of time by myself. But I'm also somebody that, like, I really like intimate relationships as well as being alone.
Yeah.
And so, like, getting to do something that I love with somebody that I love feels like it's very, it helps me recharge.
Yeah, I agree. I tell Michael this all the time because he'll be, when I'm saying I need time to myself or I need to do something for myself, he's always like, well, just go do whatever you want to do.
Thomas says the same thing.
But I don't know about you, but it's after kids, and I know you hear this all the time, but it's hard to find what I like.
Well, we no longer have the baby. She was like,
she was taken,
wanting attention.
Yeah.
Which, do you ever like get into doing self-care and then you hear them? Bath. Yep.
I think there's a TikTok of this girl, and she's in the bath, and she has the camera pointing to her, and she's in the little text thing. It's like, my husband told me, just go take a bath. I got the kids.
And she's like,
and the sound is just her kids screaming.
yeah, it's not self-care.
No.
At that point. And I mean, that's the shitty thing is because it's like, we want to rely on our husbands to be able to give us that. But then, like, our children are also very much attached to us.
Right.
And so it's a balancing act of how much can I realistically expect of my children? How much can I realistically expect of my husband to be able to keep them contained?
Right. And I don't know what to do outside of the house.
I don't know either.
I need to find my thing that I can just go do.
Yep. I love going on walks. That's my biggest that I love doing, and oftentimes the kids go with me, and I just put them in the stroller and go on a walk. But that's my outside. Yeah,
I like to do the walks. I think that's why I like to do the grocery shopping, because I don't mind grocery shopping, and it's definitely like I don't have to bring the kids with me if Michael's home and available.
Yep.
Yeah, it's hard to find things after having kids. It's like, what do I enjoy?
Yeah.
And what do I enjoy that's not with the kids? That's the other thing. Because there's a lot that I enjoy with the kids.
Yep.
But I know that I need to find something for just me. And that's hard.
I will say one thing that I like miss, like if money wasn't a problem, because money's always the problem,
Always,
right?
Yeah.
And it's something that, like, if shit takes off and I'm able to have money at my disposal, is I really want to get it back into horses. Because before me and Thomas got married, while we were still together, I would often go out to my brother's, we're half siblings, so my brother's dad's house.
Right.
His wife has horses. And I loved getting up early, taking care of them and riding them, and I miss riding horses so much. And so someday that will be my self-care.
Yeah. Michael and I used to have like a bunch of different animals that we took care of. We had a few birds. We had chickens by birds. We had bunnies. I really like taking care of animals, and we were always, because we had them at his grandma's farm. That's where we stored them, I guess you would say. Stored sounds weird.
Them.
I know.
Boarded?
Just sounds weird that you're boarding a chicken.
Well, boarding just means
there.
that somebody else is technically the one taking care of them in a sense.
Yeah. And I loved that. That's why I would love to get just a house with a little bit more property that we could do that kind of stuff on, because I love to do that. I love to take care of things. I love to take care of people. That's why I became a mom. I love to nurture.
Yep.
I just need to figure out how to nurture myself a little better.
Yeah.
I definitely need to find some time for me and what I like. I think that's the hardest part. Once I find something that I like, then I think I'll have an easier time doing self-care. But right now it's hard because I don't know what to do. I don't know what I like to do outside of the house.
Yeah, I don't know either. I struggle with that because I'm a homebody at heart.
Yeah.
I don't, I like going out, but I don't.
In bursts.
Yes. In bursts. I think that's why I was never the partier. I didn't like it. It drained my mental energy way too much. And when you go out and do stuff, you're supposed to be
having
filling
a good
it.
old time. Yeah.
Yeah, not depleting it.
Yeah. And I guess the things that I like to go out and do cost money too.
Yeah.
I enjoy going out to eat with a friend. That costs money. I enjoy going shopping. Costs money.
Yep.
And enjoy going to a coffee shop. But again, costs money. Everything costs money. I like going to the zoo and the beach. Michael and I, before we had kids, we would go to the beach all the time. And that was our self-care that we would do together. And we would just be on the beach for hours, just looking for rocks, shells, just hanging out. And we can still do that with kids, but now it's now we have to make sure the kid's not running out into the ocean, and
Yep.
It's not as easy just to get up and go. And sometimes the drive, you have a kid who's screaming in the back and you're like, do I even want to go now?
Yeah. And then not to mention that we're a little ways.
Yeah, it's an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's not a right down the road.
I know Michael and I have talked about moving to the coast several times throughout our relationship because we love it so much. And that's something we've always loved to do since we first got together. But all my family's here. And then now it's an hour and a half, 2 hour drive to see family every time. Now it's not just a quick 5-minute drive to go grab Kaylee to do the podcast and hang out. It's not a 20-minute drive to my mom's so she can watch the kids so we can go on a date. Now it's a big plan.
Yeah. And I mean, we live in such a weird world right now because before, the whole it takes a village. Now we live in this world where a lot of people are well, I don't want to be your village. Or they'll sit there and be I'm your village, you can always count on me, but then when you need them they don't come around.
Yeah.
And so the limited people that you have, you sit there and you're I don't want to.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why we moved closer to family.
Right.
Was because it was getting draining not having
people.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel we also live in a world where it's so pushed that you need to be independent.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't need to ask for help. I think it's slowly starting to change and shift to it's okay to ask for help, but there's still a big narrative of, you should be an independent, strong, and do it yourself. Yeah.
But it's I don't know. I think especially now women too are expected to just get over it. You wanted to be a mom. We talked about this the other day.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the trailer that I did for that video, I pulled that clip of me being well, you wanted this, so stop complaining.
Yeah.
Looks like I'm being a bitch. But that's what they say.
Yeah.
And then when you say you want a few minutes to ask for help, they're oh, just go grocery shop. For not for everybody though. Is that for you? You said you enjoy it.
Yeah. Not everybody does.
Exactly. For me, sometimes if I need a quick refresher, that feels enough for me. But if I want to just truly have some time, then I want to just put on some headphones and I want to disappear. Be unneeded. When I'm listening to my audiobooks.
Yeah.
One on, one off.
Yeah. You're still needed.
Yep, I'm still needed. I don't think I have put myself in a position where I'm not needed at all, except for when I come to do this podcast with you.
Right
now. This is the only time.
Yeah.
That my husband is not going to say a damn thing to me until I say, go ahead and bring me Ellie.
Right. Yeah.
That is the most by myself that I get, unless I want to be up super duper late or super duper early.
Right. And then at that point, like, at least for me, when I'm up super late, I'm either tired or I'm anxious that the kids are going to wake up. And then I'm going to have a battle of getting them back to sleep.
Yep.
And super early in the morning, again, tired, anxious that the kids are going to wake up any minute.
Yep. When I did my nails the other day, I had to stop. This hand was completely done, all the way done. This one still only had to do the clear coat. And I mean, it's like a quick cure, but like, it's at least I have to do 10 seconds per nail for a quick cure and then a 60-second final one.
Oh, okay.
And I hadn't done that yet, and Ellie woke up. And it was like 2 a.m. And so I had to keep myself awake because I was like, I have to finish these nails because it's like still a tiny bit tacky.
Oh, okay.
If you don't have that on. And so I had to get her to go back to sleep so I could just come out and finish it really quick. Like literally 5 minutes worth.
Yeah.
It's stressful.
It is. Yeah.
And then when you're sitting there worrying the entire time, it's like, how much are you really like, I feel like if we had like a physical battery that like we could see how full it was, we would truly see the value in things like that and the things that tend to make that refill faster and drain faster. And sometimes there are certain things in life that it starts to drain ridiculously fast, where you think you're at like 50%. And then all of a sudden you're at 5.
Right.
And you're like losing your mind. And you're like, I need a minute. And you need to walk away. And it's like you get up to that 25 and you're like constantly living at 25%.
It's like the people who, I'm saying me, who don't charge their phone at night and they only charge it when it's like dying.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I treat myself.
But then you charge it in bursts.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing I was talking to my friend Taylor about the other day was, because she was saying that her and her partner went on a date for like the first time in like 3 years or whatever. And I told her it's crazy how in your day-to-day with your relationship, like you guys will bicker or argue, or I mean, you have good moments too, but there's bickering and arguing or talking just about the kids. And then you go on a date or you just have a few moments alone and then you realize like, I actually like my partner.
Yeah.
You know, like now that I can just spend time with just them, I see, I still really enjoy my partner. It's just life is chaotic right now.
Yep.
With kids, you know, because you get so stuck in just these roles of mom and dad, mom and dad, mom and dad, mom and dad, mom and dad. And then when you get a chance to be husband and wife or whatever, it's like, oh, this is how it was. This is nice. This is, you know, we can reconnect again. And I think along with self-care, you need to have self-care with your partner if you have a partner.
Yep.
Especially with kids.
Yeah.
Because you get so stuck in those roles.
You do. And me and Thomas made a joke about it. And, a little TMI, but there we go. It was one day when Ellie was asleep. She was taking a nap. And both of the 2 older kids were in their room with the door shut watching. They were in their room with the door shut watching a movie. And I was making dinner. And I was stirring some pasta. And Thomas is like, you want to have some pasta time?
Sorry, just swallowed.
And, I mean, again, TMI, had a little quickie in the kitchen while I was stirring the pasta. And so now he's just like, I loved our pasta time. And it's like tiny little moments where like you get to just have a little bit of fun. Because I mean, like me and him met when I was a teenager.
Right.
Technically, he was a teenager too.
Yeah.
And, you know, like when you're a teenager, you steal moments.
Right, yeah.
And it felt like stealing a moment.
Yep. I feel like you have to. As parents. I don't know how else people are doing it around here. Stolen moments. That's the only way we're connecting.
I hear people talking about how like they can, you know, get it on several times a day. And
in stolen moments, but how are you getting that many?
Yeah.
Like I can steal. Tell me your secrets.
1, maybe 2 if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
But some days it's 0. And I'm like, how are people having their fun time 5 times a day. I'm like, are you literally just like disappearing into the hall real quick?
Right.
Praying to God your 7 children don't come find you?
Right.
I'm talking about one specific YouTuber in particular.
I don't know. To be honest with you. I don't know.
And like, it's hard enough with 3.
Yeah.
And then like, you try to have a stolen moment and then all of a sudden you hear the pitter patter of little feet.
And you're like, damn it.
And you're like, well, gotta pull them britches up real quick.
Yep.
And it's like, it's not even just that too.
Mm-hmm.
Not even just sex.
Right.
Even just like dancing in the kitchen.
Right.
Or, you know, a kiss. You know, you want just that moment and then all of a sudden, Mommy!
Right.
And you're like, well, there goes that.
Yeah. You have to break away. Because, I mean, kids are the priority at this point.
Yes.
They're the young kids that we decided to have and we need to raise. So they're the ones that take the front burner.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
So, but it can be hard. It can be stressful on self and it can be stressful on a relationship.
It really can. And I can see why certain relationships don't work out after kids.
Yeah.
That they simmer out.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't have the time to stir it.
Yeah. I've always heard that if you can make it, if your relationship can last through having kids, you can make it through anything.
That's what I have heard too. I feel like especially if you have multiple kids in a very short amount of time.
Yes. Yeah.
Because then you're going through stage and then as soon as that kid's out of the stage, another one's in that stage that you just boom, 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 boom.
Yep.
Like this is the longest I've ever had 2 in diapers.
Yeah. True.
By a lot.
Man. Yeah.
Almost a full year with 2 in diapers. Whereas with Anna and Damon, it was just a couple of months.
Right. Yeah.
It's hard.
It's a task. That's for sure.
Yeah. But I think when it comes to self-care too, it's important to remember that, you know, to communicate. Mm-hmm. If you need it, talk to the people around you, whether it's your partner, your best friend, your mom, whoever, you know, to be okay with saying, hey, I need a minute and to ask for it. Like one of my favorite episodes of Bluey, I love Bluey, when mom takes 20 minutes and she needs it. I love that show. That show gets down to like that we're going to have these conversations in 7 minutes. We're going to give these big topics the light. If you are a mom and you haven't done Bluey yet, do it. Yeah. Seriously. It's such a good show. But the mom gets 20 minutes. She's like, she gets really frustrated at the beginning. She's like, I need 20 minutes. Goes and disappears. And dad has to try to keep the kids from going. And the kids just keep trying to go to mom. And Bandit is just like, absolutely not. And tries to distract them. I think he becomes like a sheep or something. He pretends to be a sheep. The neighbor gets involved in everything. And then the neighbor eventually is like, lets the kids come over and play. And she shears the sheep and she gives Bandit a haircut or something. And, mom comes out, her name's Chili, and she's like, comes out, and she's like, what are you guys doing over there? Next door neighbor's like, Bluey said you needed 20 minutes. I got this. You do you, boo. And just like sends her on her way, and she gets like her 20 minutes. I'm like, oh. It hit my mommy heart a bit because it was like, that's how it feels. The chaos that is outside. And I think at one point in time, Bluey ends up knocking on the mom's door, and the mom opens the door, and she's like, you okay? She's like, yeah, I need a few minutes. She's like, you still love us, right? Aww. Chili's like, yes, I still love you guys. I just, you know, sometimes moms need a few minutes to just recoup. Yep. And it's like, that stuff is not talked about. No. You know, on TV shows, all the moms are just like super moms that just got it. Nobody talks about the hard. No. That reminds me of, I can't remember what was going on, but I was having a hard day and I was just getting really frustrated. And I was sitting on the couch and I just put my head in my hands and was just like, just taking a few deep breaths. And Maverick comes over to me. He goes, sorry, mama. Sorry, mama. And I was like, honey, you did nothing wrong. I just need a minute. Mom just needs to breathe. I'm fine. Just, everything's okay. Mom's having a hard time. I'm frustrated and I'm just taking a breath. And he just crawled up in my lap and just hugged me. And just kept saying, sorry, mama. That's so cute. I don't want him to feel like he's causing it, you know? But it was very sweet that he was just trying to comfort me in that moment. But I love it. Yeah. Self-care.
Do it more.
Self-care.
Don't feel guilty about it.
Yeah.
I feel like I struggle with that. I feel guilty when I take those few moments for myself.
Me too.
But they're necessary so that we can be better moms, better wives, better people in general for everyone around us. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. Take it. Figure out what it is that you want to do. Explore your options. You know, maybe try something new. If you're not somebody who's into books, maybe try reading in the bathtub. You know, maybe try getting into painting. Like if you've ever seen those wine, paint and wine, whatever. I don't know.
I've done a few of those. Those are fun.
Yeah. Try it. You might find something that you like doing. You might meet a friend. You know, start a podcast. I don't know.
Yeah. Do whatever you got to do to just recharge. Yeah.
Yep. Figure it out. Guys seem to have a really easy time figuring out what that thing is.
I know.
Seems to
I'm envious.
Right. Like Thomas is going out and doing RC cars on Friday with a friend. And like he plays video games and stuff. Like he's got things that that recharge him.
Yeah.
And whereas I feel like I'm having to steal moments.
Right. And figure out what you want to do in those moments.
Yep. And sometimes you have like such a short amount of time to have that moment that once you decide what you want to do, it's halfway over.
Yep. And then you're rushing to do what you wanted to do.
Yep.
And then it doesn't even feel relaxing anymore.
Yep. Like I told Thomas that I need, like when I want to do my nails or whatever, there was one time because it usually takes me about 2 hours to do them. There was one time where I was literally trying to do it where I had like one finger under the light, one finger that I was like trying to do the painting on, and then I'm like having to switch, and I was rushing, and I told Thomas, I was like, okay, next time I need to just take the time to do it because this nail's crooked and I didn't.
And now I'm upset with the final whatever.
Yep. And so, you know, or like if I want to write and I'm having to do that with the kids, then I'm like struggling because the kids are like talking or they're coming up and bothering me, and I'm having to be like, okay, well, now I'm losing my train of thought.
Right.
What the hell was this person supposed to be even doing?
Yeah. I accidentally just killed off the main character. Just kidding.
One time I did that. I wrote out a main character because I was pissed, and I was like, and she killed herself.
You're like, I can't right now.
Backspace.
Right. Yeah. You just gotta figure it out. We're still figuring it out, so
yep.
Only have so much advice right now.
Between us, we're 5 kids deep.
Yeah.
5 years, 5 kids. And we're here, and we're struggling right alongside you. So tell me, what do you do for self-care?
Give us ideas.
Yep, I'd love to hear it. Maybe you've got our next best, whatever we're doing.
Yeah.
Let's give it a shot. Do you feel like you get enough self-care?
Because I don't.
Me either. I think that wraps up this week's episode. I'm hungry. So. I think my next self-care is going to be eating lunch.
Food.
Yes. Oh, and there's our cue.
There's my kid.
All right. See you guys next week.
Next one.
Bye.